July, Canada Month. Our broadcast contract has expired. But that's actually a good thing, because we actually have another much bigger contract waiting to begin. So, asking for pay raises. Shota, the Irredeemable, who has 4 reigns as junior champion, the most successful junior in the history of this promotion. Stanley Adams, Satan's General, yet again tag team champion as captain, richly deserving of a raise. So let's go straight to, what was it, management. Broadcast contracts. I think we might have, I don't know if I showed this earlier, because this would have come up quite a few months ago while our existing broadcast contract was still going. This would have came up as the next contract that is in the queue, so to speak, waiting to come up when the current one expires. So the old one expires, the new one starts. And as you see in the lower right of this description here, revenue monthly $700,000. We had been making $300,000 and happy about it. More than double our income now per month based on just showing the product via broadcast. So, of course, national exposure, 9 months. I think the other one was 12 months, but hey, for 700 grand, how can you, who cares what, I mean, you'll take any term at that rate, right? So average match evaluation must be 60% or more. We just came off a 90%. So 50% more, yeah, not a problem. So some serious money there. Oh, looky here. Ace went bankrupt. They were the least prosperous organization remaining after Dramatic Fight Wrestling folded. Ace has taken their turn. They're out of the business. They've been outcompeted. Their business model no longer sustainable, and they are gone. Backstage, we find Team Satan. The foot soldier says, "Congratulations, General. Team Satan is again tag team champions." To which the General replies, "Yeah, great." Foot soldier raises an eyebrow, perhaps. "You don't seem to be in a celebratory mood?" Awkward silence. "Sir, everything is perfect. We just reminded the world Team Satan is the greatest faction in wrestling. And with Midnight Knight losing his title challenge, he'll come crawling back to rejoin, and then we challenge for the 6-tag championship, just like you masterminded." General says, "You see, this is why you're just the foot soldier and I am the General. Midnight Knight isn't coming back. He just came within a hair of becoming Canada's heavyweight champion. I hear Big Titan has busted ribs and he can't breathe properly. I guarantee you, Titan loses the title in the tournament. And because of what the night did to him, do you really think, amidst all that, he'll be content to be a 6-tag subordinate? No, he's a believer now. He thinks his destiny is to be the man around here. Midnight Night is done with us. Foot Soldier says, a shame. But something tells me we are not done with him? General replies, No, it's not enough he's disappointed about the failed challenge in June. I want that deserter destroyed. Foot Soldier says, but none of us are scheduled for Canada Day. Are you planning something outside the ring? General, no, you idiot. We don't need the police on our ass. But I will call on someone from outside the promotion. You heard the wrestling news about Ace going out of business? Foot Soldier thinks a moment. Oh, that's right, but will he accept? He's an American living in Japan. General says he's also out of work. He'd be crazy to turn down my offer. Foot Soldier says, I hear he's crazy in general. General? Yeah, replies the general. Truly the man for the job. And this angle will continue next episode. Coming to you from the nation's capital of Ottawa, the Canada Wrestling Promotion presents 8 Canadians, 4 CWP champions, 4 WWE champions for Canada's Heavyweight Championship. The Canada Day Tournament Edition 4. Tournament Select. So, as we've talked about, it is a singles tournament. Configure title match on the right. For the big one, Canada's Heavyweight Championship. You can see at the top there, automatically slotted in, we've got Big Titan. So Titan at the top, he'll kick it all off. He'll be the first man into the ring. And who does he face in the first round? Well, he's going to go R-rated as he faces Edge, the rated R superstar, former WWE World Champion. So as you can see there, finishing move, spear in the middle. We've known Big Titan to pull out the Titan Spear. He's finished more than one challenger that way. So it will be the Battle of the Spears. Opening match. The winner of which will face the winner of a grudge match between former Canada Wrestling Promotion Heavyweight Champion Canadian sensation, against former WWE World Champion, Lionheart. No, that's not the WWE World Championship he's got. That's the Canada 6 tag. So a chance for redemption for Lionheart against his arch nemesis, the Sensation, who's had Jericho's number in recent memory. So that makes up the upper half of the tournament. Let's move to the lower half. Another grudge match. A battle between, here we go again, another pair, actually, of former WWE World Champions. KO Kevin, also newly minted 6 tag champion, versus the excellence of execution, the Hitman, Bret Hart. He'll go all black again, facing KO, and if you know the history between these two gentlemen, you know why. If you don't know the history, go back and watch previous episodes. Find out why these two gentlemen have beef. So yeah, another grudge match and another chance for redemption. KO Kevin against his arch nemesis. So you may have picked up that when you consider what match 2 is and match 3 is, they're in different halves of the tournament. Thereby, partners need not face each other unless they reach the final, right? So you notice the Canadian Sensation and Bret Hart have been tag team champions until just recently. They just dropped their titles. And then Jericho and Owens, team best friend. So they're in, those teams are broken up into separate halves, so good chance they don't have to face each other. And, you know, if they have to face each other, maybe they can, you know, if it's for a title, it's worth it. The title. And so the winner of match 3 will face the winner of the Battle of the Bigs to round out the first round. Big Mike, former 3-time champion of this promotion, the CWP. And he will face the man who won the main event from previous show, Wolf Hockfield. Battle of the Bigs, Wolf at the bottom. If we look at the big picture here, we got Titan at the top, and then the Wolf is at the bottom there. So we've placed the Wolf opposite Big Titan to set up a possible final rematch from the Year 1 tournament. If you remember from episode 7, Wolf Hockfield won this championship from Big Titan in the final. Any chance they'll go again? And if it's not the Wolf, you know, Big Mike's got a possibility there. He could also meet Big Titan in the final in another type of battle of the bigs. Two former, they've been tag team partners. They've had long-time rivalry. Long-time enemies, long-time friends. Well, maybe not long-time friends, but the rivalry goes back to the inaugural episode of this series. So some pretty cool possible finals set up there. So those are the matchups. Quick review. Battle of the Spears in the top left. And then we have a pair of grudge matches. Sensation, Lionheart. KO, Hitman. And we round it off with the Battle of the Bigs. Big Mike and the Wolf. All right. So, what is the setting for this? We go to venue. Just trying to. Oh, I think I might. Do I change something? Should Big Titan be in his alternate red for Canada Day? Good question. Well, his opponent Edge is in his red. That makes sense. Just checking on. Although we got black versus black here in 3. Feel like everyone should try to look as Canadian as their outfits permit. Or should Big Titan be in his standard black because he's all business? I'm leaning toward that, honestly. Because for him, this isn't just about, well, I'm really struggling with this now. Okay, so we'll shelf that for just a moment. Should deal with the venue. It's going to be Urban Medium. $80 ticket price. So we have 8 contenders. That's $10 a piece. Right? 8 times 10, 80. Okay, I gotta make a decision here. Tell you what, maybe he'll be all business in black. And should he hold on to the title in this tournament? Maybe next month, or next time he defends, he'll wear his red. Man, does it seem un-Canadian to go without the red? No, I'm going to say he's going to be all black. He's business black. He's focused on the task at hand, not his particular patriotism right now. That's what I'm leaning toward. Okay, I'm going with it. That's what my gut tells me. I'm conflicted, though. My Canadian pride is telling me, I don't know about that. All right. So, management, produce merchandise. We've sold out of our towels and photos. So how many to buy? Well, I think I'm gonna just gonna go as big as we've gone lately. I think I'm gonna make 10,000 of each of the two. Because even though it's a smaller venue, how could we not go big on Canada Day? So that's what I'm going to do. 10,000 towels, which is the easier thing to decide to do because towels sell well. 10,000. Photo collection doesn't sell as well, but oh, here's something. I don't know why this should matter, but in the top right, expenses $282. We can spend 28 because it's 28 and 28. You know what? Since it is only the smaller venue, I could justify going just 5,000. Now I'm getting into that whole numbers thing where I'm getting drawn into playing with numbers. 282. So we can spend 10%. Like, so our expenses are currently 282. We can spend 10% of what we're already spending to make photo collections. That's what I'm going to do. 5,000 on the photo because they don't sell as well as the towels. So it makes sense to make not as many, right? Okay. Looks good to me, man. So one final piece of business before we get to the actual matches. As is customary, we'll check on a little view title belts. Canada's Junior Championship. Congratulations to Christian, having picked up his first ever title defense of Canada's Junior Championship. He did that previous episode. See there in the bottom right, 1 win. Okay, I believe that's it. Canada Day Tournament, Edition 4. Match 1 to begin the tournament for Canada's Heavyweight Championship. We begin with the Battle of the Spears. Big Titan versus Rated R Edge. Titan begins his quest to avenge the one high-profile blemish on his Canadian career, losing this championship 3 years ago in this setting. Should he have wore his red alternate for Canada Day? Write in the comments. Is he being non-patriotic? Or do you agree this is about cementing his legacy? All business black was what he went with. And here's his first opponent, who's been largely in tag action so far in the CWP. But he's been champion of the world. Truly a worthy contender in this tournament. Eats a boot to start things off, and he's feeling Titan's strength and power early with vertical suplex. Body slam. Stomp. I was about to say it's been all Titan so far, but Edge is starting to put some moves together. Trying to turn this into a Rated R extravaganza, but now he's body slammed out of the ring. Takes a moment to regroup. Use some of that veteran savvy to figure out how he wants to approach this. Gets whipped into the turnbuckle. Edge looked like he might have been trying one of those avalanche clotheslines. But a bit early to try to exploit a man. There he does some. Oh, it looked like he was smarter. Smarter plan there was to soften the man up a little bit before he tried that running clothesline. Still, Edge is too fresh to succumb to that. But he does succumb to a drop kick to the back of the head, brutality on display. Another vertical suplex. Arrogant. Pin style. Edge working the chops. Try a strategy that maybe Titans hasn't had to deal with in the past. Ric Flair style chest chops. Maybe moves like that might unhinge Titan's mood a little bit, maybe make him reckless. Then again, it might just make him angry enough to be more powerful, more devastating. Super bomb attempted, but Edge, who's has dabbled in jerkery in the past, doesn't mind going low, tries a high kick. He's a tall guy, Edge. Doesn't look particularly tall next to Big Titan. Titan is titanic in stature. But the high boot, a move you see tended to be employed by taller wrestlers. If you're taller, you're more likely to be able to get your leg up there to hit someone in the face with it, right? Another big body slam from the Titan. Drops the elbow. More of that brutality. Drop kicking to the downed opponent.
5 minutes gone.
Titan hug. We've been through 5 minutes of match clock. And the Titan backs it off to avoid that kick, avoids the clothesline, the nimbleness. I mean, the Titan is not just some big, awkward, lumbering goon. He's a supreme athlete. Suplex on display, back suplex. He's capable of both power and nimbleness. He tried some sort of power bomb, and the craftiness of Edge poked to the eye. I mean, some underhanded tactics being employed by Edge, but, you know, consider who he's up against. Long-time, dominant champion. 11 title defenses on this reign. Pretty insane. But 11, here's another E word for you, Edge. Could Edge be the man who puts an end to this run? This reign might be forever known as the Edge 11 reign. Exploder suplex, but okay, forget all that. I spoke too soon. This is Big Titan. And is he about to lose in his first match in this tournament? Heck no. Explodes with the suplex. Edge is crumpled in the corner. Wow. I hope he's okay. I was giving Edge his due because Edge has had a great run in his career. What is he, 10-time champion? I don't know what he is. He's something pretty awesome. So he's deserving of respect, but I mean, what can be said? This is Big Titan's promotion. He's made it that way. And he needs just 7 minutes and a few seconds to make an early statement that this tournament is not going to be the same as last time. Maybe, just maybe, he runs through this field. Certainly the plan to retain the title. But he has 2 more matches to go. And he'll only be facing winners from this point, starting next round. In that, not that Edge is not a winner. I mean, his subsequent opponents will have won in this tournament. Okay, I'm talking too much. Let's get on to the next match. There's much more excitement to come. Impressive start, to say the least, for the champion. Who will he be facing in the semi-final? The Canadian sensation, or Lionheart? And I feel a little bad for the sensation in that in the intro, I don't know if I really lingered on his profile very much. It seemed like just about everyone had their sort of moment in the sun when we were introducing everyone. And I was so busy making a point that the Canadian sensation was in a rivalry, an ongoing rivalry with Lionheart. And I wanted to get on to Lionheart. So I showed them both, and I sort of glossed over the Canadian sensation, who deserves a lot of credit because he's dominated the rivalry with Jericho in tag, in singles. Now's the time for some redemption. Lionheart, a member of the 6 tag champions. But he could be a 2-belt champion. If he could make his way through this tournament. Starts off with a chop. And should the Sensation win this match, it sets up a very exciting second round in that if you go all the way back to the first tournament from year 1, episode 7, that was, for the Sensation, would have been the dream final. I believe the Sensation was in the top half. Big Titan, defending champion, in the bottom. It was the Sensation's debut on Canada Day. And it would have been a heck of a splash if he had faced Big Titan in the final and won. He didn't reach the final. So if you're the Sensation, plenty to aspire for today. He's got redemption of his own on his mind. He's probably got some regrets from Canada Day, wondering what could have been. So he's got plenty of motivation in this tournament. But the caution would be, don't look past Lionheart, for he is former champion of the world. Dragon Screw Leg Whip. I could call it the occasional move too. Northern Light Suplex. Salute to Canada, Great White North. And you know, more for Jericho's motivation than just trying to get some achievement against this longtime nemesis of his, the Sensation. Wouldn't Jericho like to be Canadian heavyweight champion? I haven't seen much of him in singles, like with Edge. Lionheart has come here, been largely a tag wrestler. Remember, he did have that memorable victory on Christmas against fellow Canadian legend Bret the Hitman Hart. So there's every bit of reason to think that whomever comes out of this match supremely motivated and a danger to upsetting the apple cart or the Titan cart. Big Titan in the semis.
5 minutes gone.
Neck breaker. Torture grind. So yeah, either we're going to see a sensational Titanic tournament match that we never got to see 3 years ago, or we'll see our first ever Lionheart versus Big Titan matchup. They've never fought in singles. So Lion Titan, Titanic Lion. Use your imagination how cool that would. What kind of imagery does that conjure up in your mind? In terms of those concepts, anyway. Arrogant one-footed cover. Sensation says, "Get off me." Not cool. And off the momentum, stepping palm strike. Running shoulder. Sensational shoulder. Sensational screw on the Dragon Whip. The Canadian Sensation looking exciting. Body slam. He's got momentum now. He's putting moves together. He's stringing moves, sensational stringing of moves together. Tries to roll him up with the surprise 2 count. Trying to go for an early finish the same way we just saw Big Titan achieve. Baseball slide. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker into the sensational sleeper. Irish whip. Reverse body bash into the turnbuckle. Flying kick to the side of the head. More sensational screw as we make our way towards the 10-minute mark. Stepping palm strike. Vicious. Another 2 count. Two count so far. Does Lionheart have a reply. Maybe try to slow the action down a bit with that delayed vertical suplex. Maybe take some of the energy out of this match and make it drag it out a little longer. Maybe that's what the veteran Jericho needs to try to do. He's had a 2 count of his own. Sidewalk backbreaker. Power bomb. What's he waiting for? He's setting something up. Waits for his man to get up only to give him the running clothesline. Good timing. Sensation calling for a finish, though. He says it's going to be over in a second here. Oof. That seems pretty hard. 2.9. Dead center of the ring. He's that close. DDT, though, is Jericho trying and puts the walls of Jericho down. The Lion Tamer looking to tame the Sensation. In fact, that move was used to win the 6-tag championship. Jericho had applied that to Big Mike to put an end and make a very brief reign for Big Mike as captain of the 6-tag champions. Sensational Superfly. High flying, high impact. 2.9 though. We've had 2.9s again. So again, Jericho replies to the 2.9 with a DDT. Pretty good momentum breaker. Can he make good? Can he follow up on this? Tombstone. Power driver across the cola. Part of the logo. Another sensational Superfly. And I gotta say, that's probably it. How many more of these can Jericho absorb? He kicks out at the stroke of 3. But we'll have the dream match that we were supposed to have 3 years ago. The Sensation moves on to face the Titan. It won't be in the final, but it will be to determine who goes to the final. So the semi-final number 1 is set off of the sensational super diving headbutt. It will be two former CWP champions, Canada Wrestling Promotion champions. They vanquished the WWE World Champion counterparts that they were up against. So we were guaranteed now to have at least one CWP champion, past or present, in the final. Now that will make for an exciting semifinal. 100% match evaluation. And I think that owed a lot to partly momentum changes, but it was a pretty sensational display. We saw the Canadian Sensation play his best hits. Jericho got the Lion Tamer in there, but it wasn't enough to gain the submission. And the Sensation moves on. Continues to own the rivalry with Lionheart. Does the Sensation. We move to the lower half of the tournament, where we get another grudge match. So it was more the same in the grudge match from match 2. Can KO Kevin Owens, the new leader of the 6-tag champions, probably his best accolade so far in the CWP. I don't know how much I want to talk about the rivalry with the Hitman and its origins, because it goes back to a fatality in a match out of respect to the man whose life was lost and his family. I don't want to dwell on it too much. But Morning Black continued to be worn by the Hitman whenever he faces KO. Big body slam from the big man. Big man versus Hitman. Hitman's out of the ring, but Owen's not too hot to pursue. Just wait for him to get back in. You would think that KO would want to hurt Bret Hart any which way he can, and a street fight would suit him just fine. But who knows? Maybe he realizes hatred will unbalance him if he's here purely for revenge over his cousin. He's not focused on the task at hand, which is winning the match. That might just cost him. So maybe a level-headed KO. Maybe. Well, okay, there's an eye rake, but so not the cleanest match, but you know, maybe he's just going to focus on getting back to what he does well in the ring. Not worry about who your opponent is. Just figure out how to get past this opponent, because it is the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Bret the Hitman Hart. Suplex out of the ring, and he's whooping up the Canadian crowd. Why not try to get momentum? Cast the opponent out of the ring, grandstand a little bit. Maybe he's got to build up his own belief in his momentum if he's ever going to get past this excellence of execution challenge. It's like we pointed out in the previous rivalry match, the Sensation has dominated the Lionheart. Likewise, the Hitman has dominated KO. Again, what a time for redemption. What a time to finally get the win if you're KO. Because it is in the tournament for Canada's Heavyweight Championship. KO, another one of those wrestlers who's spent a lot of time in tag. He's been in the Owens teams of different shapes, 2-man, 3-man. He's been with Team Best Friend with his best buddy Jericho. But he is former champion of the world. In fact, this is the one battle in this first round that features two former WWE World Champions. Anyway, yammering so much, I believe I missed a top rope maneuver by KO a little earlier, which is worth mentioning because look how big he is. To be a top roper at the size of Kevin Owens. Well, there's that pop-up powerbomb. Pop-up powerbomb. I think that had a lot to do with his success, his rise to the top. A very impressive, cool-looking move. And a 2.9. An excellently executed running power slam into the corner, and then a turnbuckle. Rolling splash there. Ooh, another one. Just putting them in sequence, these top rope back splashes, if you will. Is it finally KO's time to get the better of Bret? Reverse atomic drop, going back old school. Bret Hart was probably involved in a number of those moves before the move went out of fashion. Oh no. Okay, so it's still personal, as you just saw. Momentum DDT. Swinging neck breaker, as I'd like to say. Oh, is it possible that I spoke too soon? Maybe KO is letting emotion get involved in this. As we saw the angry, obscene gesture, which might be a terrible mistake. If he goes on to lose this match, you might point back to that. That display of emotion. There's the pop-up powerbomb, though. If he loses, that might be why. But he's on the verge. Forget all that, as I say. He's done it finally. KO's cousin lost his life in a match with Bret Hart. KO has wanted revenge ever since. He finally has it. Pop-up powerbomb. We saw it more than once. Took him under 10 minutes. So maybe now KO can finally put... Well, let's be honest. He's never going to put that memory aside of what happened to Mr. Stoic. But a type of probably a catharsis, sense of relief, revenge, all those things. There's probably a lot of boxes checked here as far as his frame of mind now that he's finally got this win. He finally got the get back against the Hitman, and now he will advance, does KO, to the semi-final. Maybe slightly more motivated than Hitman. I mean, don't underestimate how much Hitman would have loved to be Canada's heavyweight champion, but the Hitman's had 2 tries. He faced the Baron, came up short. He faced the Titan, came up short. So he's had his shots at the top of the mountain. KO has not. KO has not had a heavyweight title match. He will have a match in the semifinal to actually see if he can get to a title match. He will face the winner of the Battle of the Bigs. Big Mike Wolf Hockfield. KO gets the winner to see who will go on to the final and fight for the title. We shall have to see. Finishing off the first round with the Battle of the Bigs. And you know, since I've got a red versus red matchup for the first time in the tournament, I'm gonna get the old Canada cap. Just a little extra red. Red for Big Mike's primary red attire. And then, hey, red on the top for Wolf. Has the red hair. Cool. And he's got some red trimming around the trunks and so forth, so why not? Celebration of Canada Red. And the Wolf tries to come out big, swinging with a wild forearm. He fails, and then he's defeated in a test of strength, so good start for Big Mike. But then some sort of elbow death drop thing. Oh, the spinning back fist. One of Big Mike's trademarks, but he rarely lands it. The Wolf takes it well, though, and responds with a body slam out of the ring. And the Wolf barked at the moon just now, you saw. An early moon bark. Back body drop into the armbar. This is the move that he won the tournament with 3 years ago. It was applied to Big Titan. Another elbow death drop, 2 inside of 2 minutes for the Wolf. Body slam out of the ring. Both men have suffered this, but Big Mike content to pursue, whereas Wolf was not earlier. Wolf denies him a street brawl, back alley brawl, as he rolls back in the ring only to eat the delayed vertical suplex. Both these men have had their battles with Big Titan, one-on-one, the champion. They now face each other for the right to possibly face him if everyone keeps winning. There's that reversal on the vertical suplex by Wolf Hockfield, who has the kind of strength to match that of Big Mike. Big Mike, a very thick dude, Wolf also, but perhaps maybe slightly smaller, but with slightly better actual muscle definition. So who's stronger? It's anyone's guess. Big Mike, slightly bigger. Wolf Hockfield, slightly more agile. Double arm suplex into the blue corner. Tumbles Big Mike. Another delayed. Vertical. Suplex. As I delayed the call of that move. Some forearms landed. Oh, there's that launch German suplex over the head. Tremendous move. And how about the agility for the big man there? Big Mike. The flying kick. Jumping kick, at least. Maybe flying would be the top rope. Delayed vertical suplex, this time out of the ring. So pursuing the Wolf outside the ring didn't work out last time. So Mike instead learns from that experience and instead catches his breath. Get an early second wind here. 2 count by the Wolf. Another double arm suplex into the red corner this time. So the Wolf has been tossing the big man around, flying back elbow off the top rope. Or off the turnbuckle, at least. Did he get all the way to the top? Have to go back, I guess. Another delayed vertical suplex. It's definitely been a strategy for Big Mike. He's done that 3 times. He's trying to keep the pace slow. I think Wolf might like a quicker pace because he's more agile. And there's that running clothesline against the turnbuckle. Again, yeah, like I think. The big man going to the top, rolling back splash from the turnbuckle. You saw KO use that move effectively in the previous match. Will that move lead to those 2 men facing each other? There's a pop-up, speaking of Kevin Owens. Pop-up on the Diamond Cutter. To the 8-minute mark of the match clock, 2.9. So whose emulation of KO? Oh my goodness. Vertical suplex into a pile driver. Horrific looking maneuver. 2 and change. Mike is out of there. I almost kind of wish he'd stay down there after that.
Come on.
Wouldn't be surprised if he's hurt. Come on, though. He says, are you kidding me? Come on, I'm not going to lay down. If you remember, Big Mike, going back 3 years, he missed the tournament. So if you want to talk about motivation, as he gets the vertical suplex reversed on him, who has more? You could make the case who has more motivation than all these guys. Big Mike, who didn't even get to be in the first tournament, had to watch other people compete on Canada Day for the biggest prize. He's had to wait 3 more years for a shot at this, just to be a participant. Wow, running drop kick. More of that agility, discus striking. Oh, wow. Rotating, power bombing, incredible displays of strength, incredible displays of agility. Wolf Hockfield with another 2.9. I was all set to call the finish there, as we have a press slam. I was all about to sing Wolf's praises for the incredible strength and agility combination leading to a victory, but not yet, says Big Mike. Running strike. Again, he's trying to get the crowd involved. Twice now, he's tried to get the crowd behind him. Running clothesline, perhaps suspecting he has to find a way to match Wolf's momentum. Wolf came off the main event victory. 2.9 for Big Mike. You hear the crowd response. They approve of yet another delayed vertical suplex, and we'll get the outside the ring fighting we didn't get earlier. The Wolf is dazed. He's knocked down. Press power slam outside on the floor. Oh, good Lord. Another one of those vertical suplex pile drivers. 17, 18. Oh my goodness, Big Mike can't get back in the ring in time. We have a count out. The rare count out, but that move, that rotating power bomb, takes a while to execute. It ate up precious seconds, precious milliseconds. Wow. Timely, you might even say monumental ring out victory for the Wolf, because as you saw, Big Mike had the 2.9 to match the Wolves. It was 2.9. It was anyone's fight. Big Mike takes the action outside, beating up Wolf Hockeyville, but the Wolf gets the clutch move in near the end of the 20 count, rolls into the ring. Big Mike is like on the doorstep to getting back in the ring. The 20 count hits. What a way for Big Mike's dream to go far in this tournament, to be destroyed on a count out. Man, he's gonna be up tonight, I think. He's gonna be lying awake at night thinking about how he lost his chance at Canada's heavyweight championship over an outcome that didn't involve him being properly, you might say, defeated. He wasn't beaten down. It wasn't. There's always that little asterisk next to the count out. It's just kind of like this match, like maybe the result wasn't what it perhaps could have been. You could debate it, but it is part of the game. The fight sometimes gets taken to the outside. You only have so much time to get back in. Anyone who goes out there, certainly up by choice, the way I believe Big Mike did go out by choice, he took that chance. He could have waited inside the ring. He went out and he wanted to press the action. He was aggressive. He was motivated. He wanted to do damage. He wanted to get that much closer to getting this victory. It cost him. Count out. The Wolf moves on to the semifinal. Keeps his dream alive of duplicating what he did 3 years ago. Possibly, could he win the singles tournament again? Into the semifinals. Beginning with a tournament match that we didn't get 3 years ago. Big Titan versus the Canadian Sensation. They fought eventually in year one, as the Sensation rose to be Canada's heavyweight champion eventually. But they didn't face in the tournament. This year, they do. 3 years, you could say, in the making for these two high-quality Canadian wrestlers to face each other on Canada Day, one-on-one. First, the champion, Big Titan, to prove that it wouldn't have mattered 3 years ago whether the Sensation reached the final or not. For the Canadian Sensation to show that if I had reached the final in year one, maybe Titan would have been beaten by me instead of the Wolf. Trying to get inside the mind of these people. Irish whip, kick. Overzealous maybe. Early momentum for the Sensation, but he entered Big Titan's world of power. And while he may have sensational strength, he is up against the Titan who has controlled things ever since that reversal. Body slam. Out of the ring. Maybe Big Titan just saw Big Mike get counted out and thought, maybe I'll keep it in the ring. Rather sure of that fate. Could you imagine if that's how things ended for Titan? He feels he has so much to prove despite all he's already proven. To miss out on the final on a count out. Bowles. The man over. I was about to say the challenger. In a sense, they're both challengers in this case because the title is very much up for grabs. But yeah, technically, I guess in a way, every time you are in a match where the title's on the line, whether you're the champion, it's a type of challenger, right? Because the winner gets this belt. Vertical suplex. I mean, the champion has certain advantages, of course. With the draw, he retains. With the DQ, he retains. Still, though, every time that title's up for grabs, it's a challenge to make sure that you pull it down for yourself one way or another. Anyway, another body slam, elbow drop, so more of that physicality from Titan. There's the drop kick to the back of the head. So it's been Titan's match overall, first 5 minutes, I think. I think he's exerted his game plan a little more so than has the Sensation. The Sensation gets suplexed across the Lit Cola, main sponsor, a little more brutality. The backdrop. Clothesline cranks his man to the canvas. Early 2 count, only 5 and change into the match clock. Titan. Death drop. Followed by the elbow drop, just dropping the hammer all over the Sensation right now. Sensation tumbles Titan out of the ring, perhaps as much as in desperation as anything, just to stop the momentum, stop the bleeding. Drop down. Then he gets bowled over again. Maybe not the best plan to, here's clothesline, to get Big Titan's momentum going. Because it might just get used against you. Rotating, back, suplex. Counter on the kick, look at that. Is there anything Titan can't do? He steps back to avoid the kick, then lands a kick of his own. Arm drag takedown into the torture grind, combination wrestling by the Sensation. He needs more of that, clearly. Titan spear. Cranks him. We might be in the ropes, so not really. 2 and change. Sensation needs to find some sort of answer. Sensational stretch. Into the blue buckle. Shoulders into the midsection. Attacking the lower limbs there. Titan death drop. As Titan looks to reassert control of this match. Sensation looked good there for a while there. Trying to get back just to get in this somehow. Drop kick by the champion. The super bomb in the ropes. Probably wasn't a finish anyway. We've seen a 2 count, but that was just recently. Power bomb. Oof. We're seeing some brutality on display though. Like I say, a bit early. 2 count. I mean, they call him the Sensation for a reason. He's no joke. He's had a lot of success in this organization. He said, titles at all levels. Singles, tag, 6 tag. Titan death drop at the 10-minute mark. Titan catching his breath. A wavering Sensation. Big Titan, pace yourself a little bit because there might still be work to do. The Sensation has shown that he's not just laying down. Big running, high boot to the face. Oof. Just kicking his man in the head more than once. Knocking the senses right out of the Sensation with those big kicks to the head. two over a short span, not enough time to recover from the first one. The Sensation basically knocked out. Well, there you go. Fun fact, I think it was the event after Tournament 1, I think episode 8, when these two fought in the match that should have been, or was supposed, what the Sensation wanted from Canada Day Tournament number 1. They faced each other after that. And the Sensation, he won that match. He took advantage of a pissed off Titan who had lost his belt. And then the Sensation rocketed to the top of this promotion on the heels of that. But not this time. 10 and some odd minutes. Big Titan has won his first two matches in about 20 minutes, about 10 minutes on average. So he means business. He has won convincingly. Has Big Titan. Round 1. Round 2. There's one more to go. He'll be facing a big man in the final. Either KO or the Wolf. Everyone's looking good. Who's going to be the best? We're a few matches away from finding out. Second battle of the bigs, you might say, within this tournament. The literal bigs, I mean, everyone here is a big star in some form or another, either locally to this promotion or from world level promotions. So second literal battle of the bigs, as we have KO versus the Wolf. And we are assured of a very interesting final. Defending champion, dominant defending champion, Big Titan awaits the winner. Will it be this man in a first ever matchup between Canadian champions? KO has never faced Big Titan. If he wins this second semifinal, he will, and it will be for the biggest prize in Canadian wrestling. But to do so, he's got to get past the man who won the only other tournament in singles this promotion's ever run. On that day, the Wolf was the top dog. If he defeats KO Kevin here, he'll get a match with Titan to repeat history. Looking pretty physical, looking pretty powerful so far. Opening a couple moves, going the Wolf's way. And maybe he went to the well once too many times. It's a big man you're trying to just manhandle. Eventually KO gets the upper hand, gets the reversal. Some feeling out process, one of those times where the two men are just sort of circling around, jockeying for position. Wolf trying the high kick there. Maybe he was trying to find the correct range to rip that kick. Knocks his man down, applies the half crab. KO trying to reset the positioning by backing off. Interesting cat and mouse, which includes a Kev and Wolf. That doesn't quite work, but I tried. I mean, you got to try sometimes. Uncork one and see if it pops. Here's high kick attempt number 2. The Wolf misses, but he settles for the advantage. The Irish whip into the red corner. Rake. High rake. Probably not a bad strategy, even if underhanded by KO Kevin. Because although KO has been world champion, this was the forum where the Wolf achieved maximum glory, the high point of his career. So I feel like it's advantage Wolf. There's third high kick. Also missed. Maybe when he finally lands that, it'll be telling. We'll have to stay tuned and find out. Or will it just be a lot of... There's 4 missed high kicks. Will it just be a failed strategy which ends up being something you point to retroactively? This was the wrong way to go about it. It's easy enough to Monday morning quarterback these things once it's over, but it's always interesting when you're scrutinizing the events that lead up to the finish. How will this affect? Vertical suplex, that's a big impact. It's a big lad slamming down onto the mat there. Back to the half crab. It's maybe not a bad strategy. Do some wear downs. Sap the energy of your opponent over the course of time. Headlock, punches. The blue man into the blue turnbuckle. Looked like KO was trying to exploit, but the wily Wolf escapes. He doesn't escape that sidewalk backbreaker. Body slam out of the ring. And the Wolf backs it off. Just like Big Titan. People are afraid of the count out now, I suppose, after seeing what happened to Big Mike. Body slam. And just to make me look stupid, Wolf says, I'm going to show you how afraid I am. Pursues his man, applies. Armbar out there.
7, 8, 9.
Body slam. Elbow drop. But posing down in between moves.
14,
Ugh.
15,
Neck breaker. The Wolf looking very powerful.
18.
Well, almost a near count out. It was several counts away. But it was high teens. Could you imagine? We don't get a lot of countouts around here. Wouldn't that have been something if we had 2 in one night and in a tournament where it's, the top prize is awaits the victor. So a mere 1 count. We're not close. There's a lot to do before the Wolf is willing to give up the dream of repeating as Canada Day tournament singles champion. Body slams his way out of trouble and says he's going down. He's already gone down. He goes down again. Okay, so he might have been telling us what did just happen or what is going to happen. Oh yeah, uses the pop-up strategy against KO with a pop-up diamond cutter, but maybe Kevin saw it coming. He knows all about that type of move. Maybe he knew how to take the landing because he just popped right up. Pops up after the pop-up. Stop trying so hard. Just let these good, wholesome Canadian boys do their thing. Clothesline. Drop kick. Off the momentum. Man, that's got to be a serious impact to take, because Wolf is not a small guy. It's all that size going. Launches it into you feet first. Running. Backsplash. And when Kevin Owens needed to take a moment to catch his breath, the Wolf exploited it. He was right on him. Another drop kick. Swinging neck breaker. Is that... Okay, yeah, I was about to say, KO desperately breaking the momentum. Pop-up diamond cutter. Ever since KO took a breath, maybe he's a sign of weakness. Maybe he doesn't have the cardio to hang at this level of intensity. The Wolf has looked very impressive. Oh, geez. Just keeps flooring him with that drop kick. Interesting. What is that? Like a rock bottom sidewalk slam? Now it's the Wolf's turn to waver. Does KO equalize this? Charging up, posing down. Collision, but it favors the Wolf. Oh, wow. It's that rotating powerbomb again. Looks so impressive. So much power. So much control. You're such a big man. 2 and change. KO escapes. Wow. Flies off the turnbuckle, but needs to catch his breath. No follow-up. He's able to reassert control upon the lockup. Fall away. Slam. So maybe I spoke too soon about KO lacking the cardio because he's looked pretty good since. It's a rolling heel strike. 2.9, that close to the finals in a match with Big Titan. 15 minutes though. Now it's understandable that you might need to catch your breath no matter who you are. This is a lot to go through in a singles match. There's no breaks. There's no tagging out. Both these guys have a significant tag background, so they know what it's like to be able to get that breather. Not on the offing, not available in this setting, this forum. And it was that armbar that won Wolf the title 3 years ago. He almost used it to get back to the final. KO. Arm raise and victory, signaling to the crowd. Jumping knee off the momentum. Discus striking. Giant swing. This is the type of submission hold. The giant swing. Dizzying tactic. KO holds on in more ways than one. Sidewalk, backbreaker. Reversal, reversal on the reversal with the go behind. Snap mare. Going down again calls for the Wolf. Boy, yet another one of those running drop kicks. Has the chest of KO caved in yet? From those impacts? I've seen a lot of them. Fire, jumping, powerbomb, 18 minutes. That's probably it, isn't it? Yes. Fire, jumping, powerbomb. Impressive finish, impressive match. Barks at the moon to punctuate. And we have our rematch from 3 years ago. Pushed to the limit, you could say. I believe there was a 2.9 there for KO, was there not? It was that close to denying Wolf his rematch with Big Titan. But as I said at the end of previous episode, the stage is now set. It went according to script. Did I call it? I called it. I mean, this ain't my first rodeo. I assessed the landscape, and I thought, geez, Big Titan and the Wolf, it's likely, and we're going to have it. And it'll be one fall or submission, possibly count out. I don't know if the count out can apply in the final, but anyway, someone's going to take down Canada's heavyweight championship in clearly the biggest rematch this promotion has seen. Let's not sugarcoat it. That's the fact. We're about to see it. Hold on. It all comes down to this. The rematch final. Titan versus Wolf. One match. All the glory. Best in Canada. On the nation's biggest day. I've talked at length about what it means to both men. The time for talk is over. Out of respect for the moment these two have created, I'll be quiet for the walkdowns and allow the ambiance to speak for itself. Big Titan, with microphone in hand, middle of the ring, says, "Well, Wolf, I think we both knew this final was meant to be. You need this to reascend the mountain. Finally, I need this to redeem the one regret of my Canadian career. Make no mistake, this is my mountain." The Wolf swings wildly with a forearm, misses, and then he eats a back elbow. But then he casts the Titan out of the ring, raises an arm victoriously, perhaps a bit premature to celebrate, but it is a handy upper hand to have. Reversal on the Irish whip. Running knee just hit the big chest of Big Titan and seemed to have no effect. Into the turnbuckle, however, Titan comes out fighting with a body slam. There was that high kick of Wolf missed, though. Well, from pillar to post, so to speak, the Wolf tossing the Titan around in the different turnbuckles. 3 turnbuckle whips consecutively. And then even escapes the double arm suplex by the defending champion. Things looking good for the Wolf so far. Old school hip toss off the Irish whip. Series of forearms. Titan responds with power, the body slam, followed by the drop kick to the back of the head. Irish whip, drop down, not sure what was supposed to develop there, but maybe still a bit of a feeling out process. Series of chops into the turnbuckle by the Wolf. Body slam. Half crab. Early for a submission, now the two men trading strikes across the Lit Cola main sponsor logo. The Wolf going off the ropes, the ref gets the heck out of the way. Titan is to his feet though, too early maybe to really set your opponent up for a slow developing move. The guys are still fresh. Running, clothesline, turnbuckle squash. Clothesline, the Wolf's looking good right now, looking powerful. Titan trying to regain momentum, body slam, drop kick, combination wrestling. Both competitors looking good at times. Body slam out of the ring. 5 minutes gone, and we'll have some back alley brawling. Double arm suplex, more of a trademark of Big Titan than we've seen. that move. Half crab. The Wolf looking good. Out on the street as we get a look at the Zan Tourism
12,
sponsor logo along the apron. Arm breaker.
14, 15,
15. We've seen a count out earlier in this tournament. Not this time. Series of boots to the pelvis by the Big, but he's thrown into the turnbuckle. Speaking of the turnbuckle, we have a suplex out of the ring. Big Titan, though, pacing himself, catching his breath. Bit early to be winded, though, as we see the running leg drop by the Wolf. Body slam by Big Titan. I said early to be winded. Remember, Satan's General mentioned earlier in the episode that there's rumor about Big Titan's conditions, maybe not the best. So maybe it's catching up to him. Series of strikes followed by the clothesline. Maybe the wear and tear catching up to the Big Titan finally. 3 matches in one night. It's a lot to ask. There's that running drop kick which the Wolf used to such great effect against KO previous round. Will it pay likewise dividends? There's another KO homage, the pop-up. A diamond cutter executed instead. 2.9. That close to history repeating itself. The Wolf says he's going down. Giant swing. Wow, that was a badly needed vertical suplex by Big Titan, but it's reversed. And there's the armbar. This is the move the Wolf used to defeat Big Titan 3 years ago in this very tournament. History does not repeat, at least not yet. It's been Wolf's match though. Flying knee, Big Titan takes it well. Again, that move has not been working. Big Titan like a brick wall.
10 minutes gone.
10 minutes gone, that as Maple informs us. So the Wolf is going in his bag of championship, like former champion tricks. We've seen the Hogan leg drop. We've seen the John Cena STF. Is he putting the moves together to be champion of his own? So far, it seems like it. Again, the double arm fails. It seems like everything's going well for the Wolf. Maybe he's saying that's how you put somebody down. I don't know. Maybe when he does that, it seems like usually he's already put the guy down. Can we mic up the Wolf for future matches so we know what he's actually saying? I think it's right around this spot here. That's where the Wolf won the title before, when he became Canada's heavyweight champion. Not this time, says Big Titan, but he needs a breather. Rotating, back, suplex. Arm breaker. Titan is in terrible need of putting some moves together. He's probably behind in this match. Super bomb. Now we'll get a sense of where we're at. Where the champion's at. 2 and change. So not quite 2.9. Advantage Wolf. The referee narrowly avoids getting knocked senseless. The Wolf finally hits that running knee. He's feeling it now, it seems. Oh, but nobody home that time. Nobody home on the running drop kick. Is this Big Titan's avenue to winning this? Stealing it, you might add. It's kind of been the Wolf's match so far, hasn't it? Full Nelson suplex. He's catching his breath, but Titan looks like he's back in this match now. Power bomb. Big impact on a big man. Executed by a big man. 2.9. We're all even. Could you have asked for more? Big Titan asking the crowd, could you ask for more? Get up on your feet. Get excited. This is the biggest rematch, perhaps even the biggest singles match in the history of this promotion. The ref narrowly avoids getting bowled over. Big Titan again avoids the drop kick. Is the Wolf relying too much on that drop kick? And is Big Titan wise to it? Is that the key to Titan escaping this? See, the Wolf was the first one with the 2.9. Goes to the neck breaker. But it doesn't matter who gets the 2.9s or who gets the most 2.9s. It matters who gets the 3. Back suplex. We get champion gets dragged back toward the middle of the ring. Running clothesline. Exploits the man in the turnbuckle. Appeals to the crowd again. Drop kicks. A confused Wolf. Into the turnbuckle. There's the... Oh! Running clothesline, but the Wolf is out of there. Giant swing. But we're in the ropes, so the ref does not ask for a submission. He calls for a break. There's that rotating back suplex again. 17 minutes. An epic final already, no matter how this goes. Drop kick dodged by the Wolf. Arm breaker, no dodging that though. The Wolf is down, but the Titan's bleeding heavily. Advantage who can say? The Wolf charging up. Maybe that cost him taking a moment like that. He got body slammed. Full Nelson suplex across the lit part of the main sponsor logo. If only it was a pin combination. Finally, the Wolf hits the double arm suplex. It was countered more than once prior. Is that a telling moment in the match that he finally hits that move? Back elbow. The Wolf goes. The red-haired man goes sprawling into the red corner. Titan needs to catch his breath, but he rips with a clothesline. Back suplex. Putting moves together as the champion. But reversal on the vertical suplex by the Wolf. Titan is out of the ring. The Wolf out in pursuit.
3, 4,
Boy, oh boy, the trademark. The signature exploder suplex by Titan.
8,
Double axe handle. Clubs his man down.
minutes gone. 11,
But is he worn out from all this? The champion, he's dazed.
14,
And the Wolf exploit.
15,
There's the super bomb.
17,
Out on the floor.
18, 19,
19. The Wolf's in there first. Titan barely gets back in time to keep this match going. Fold him in half suplex. Both men have used that move. The giant swing. It is a submission hold technically. I don't think we've ever seen someone submit to this. We aren't seeing it now either. The Titan hops to his feet. There's that running drop kick, but it's taken the Wolf a while to follow up on it. Both men back to the feet simultaneously. We're all even, it seems. Collision. Who has what it takes to finish this off? This is as even as a match as you could possibly hope for. On the biggest stage, biggest moment, Big Titan takes a moment to appeal to the crowd. He believes he's the true Canadian hero. Titan Spear, it's been a finisher enough times in the past, and there it is. It was enough this time too. Over 22 minutes in one of the most epic, maybe the most epic singles match we've seen, and for the title, and on Canada Day, tournament final. I mean, could you have asked for more out of a heavyweight championship match? The Wolf was the first one to 2.9. So close to repeating history, winning the singles tournament again, but not this time. Big Titan. He gets the revenge. He gets the payback. Whew. So, over 90% match evaluation. Could you possibly dispute it? Closure. Loose end tied up. for Big Titan at the biggest time of the year for this promotion, Canada Day. 3 years in the making to get this win back for the Titan, as he verifies beyond a shadow of a doubt the greatest in the history of the Canada Wrestling promotion. Poof. Big Titan, still, as we've gotten used to saying, Canada's heavyweight champion, wins the Canada Day tournament. Great success, I'd say so. So we'll get a look at the money. So profit, nearly $2.5 million. Pretty good, as we knock on the door to $60 million for the net worth of the promotion. And that's a fun note to leave it on. Nearly $60 million. Another note to leave it on. Looking ahead. Other guys might have an argument, but do we need to see Wolf Hockfield challenge Big Titan for this championship again? We'll sort things out next month.